Hi, welcome to Field of Marigolds. This channel is dedicated to showing survivors that they can reclaim joy through art. I am Yana Jimenez. I am a fantasy author, a fantasy photographer, and a serial artist. Art is how I found my way out of the abyss, so I'm here to show you how as well. Today we're making one of my favorite textured art pieces to make, and that is a bullet with butterfly wings. Because as a survivor, aren't we all just... You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be classically trained to make art and to express yourself. There are many different ways to make textured paste for textured art. Everyone does it differently, and it's like a Reese's. There's no wrong way.
No wrong way
Good.
to eat a Reese's.
But my favorite beginner formula is using some of this. This is the main ingredient. You can find it at Lowe's. And I also use some of this. It's modeling paste. This one is white, but it does come in clear, which can be helpful. Some people put paints in their paste, which in some situations I may do that, but I prefer to make everything white at first and then paint. It makes, in my opinion, the bright colors that I like to work with, bright colors, more vibrant. So this is the way that I do it, and I can show you how I do. So I prefer to mix in a container. I got this at the Dollar Tree. It's like $1 or something, and it has a lid. That way you can mix it up, and if you have extra, you don't waste it, and it goes in there, and it'll keep, until your next project, all the things. So let's get to mixing. What I prefer to do is I like to use 2 parts of the spackle to 1 part of the modeling paste. That way it's a bit more stiff and a bit more forgiving. When it's a bit more liquidy, it's not as forgiving, I'd sound. It looks like icing. Yeah. Don't do that. I've seen some crafting ladies use that as fake icing for fake desserts and stuff for decorations. It's really cool. People that are way more creative than I am. Okay, so I put 4 scoops of the spackle, and I'll do 2 scoops. These are, this isn't rocket science, just guesstimate. I'm not going to sit here and measure exactly. All right, that should be enough. Ugh, that's a weapon. Pity the fool that tries to break in my house. You want it really smooth and Dairy Queen thick. Okay, set that to the side. I have a cutout of half of a butterfly wing, so one side. It doesn't really matter which way you go with it. If you want to go this way or this way, doesn't really matter. I tend to generally go this way. And then my brother gave me some shells. They're just shells. They're empty. And that's what we use for the body. So then it becomes a bullet with butterfly wings. So we're going to set this here. All right. And I'm going to trace. You can keep these templates. I have several of them in several different sizes, and I use them for almost all my butterfly art. It's nice when you don't have to sketch it out every single time. Okay, whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just sketching it out. So for this one, it's going to be super simple. So I have different knives. So for this one's a really easy beginner because it doesn't really require any advanced techniques. You kind of put it on there and you make your texture. So I'm gonna start off there. And I made this. I kind of want this a little more, and you can always adjust. There we go. I lost the tip to her wing there. Alrighty. My absolute favorite thing to do in the world is to go to concerts. I've been to over 100, and I'm really hard pressed to find someone I would actually want to go see, but it makes me sad because they're my favorite thing to do. Because it's so fun to go to a concert and you have people with different beliefs from different backgrounds, and everyone puts their BS to the side for 2 hours and you just rock out. It's the best feeling in the world. I love concerts. The last concert I went to was in Oklahoma, and I went with my best friend April, and we saw the Blues Travelers, the Spin Doctors, and Gin Blossoms. Yeah, it was the three of them. It was so fun. Oh my goodness. They always have good stuff at the casinos, just up the road from Dallas. Which Dallas has a lot of great venues as well. My favorite venue to go to in DFW is Dickies Stadium, Arena, whatever, in Fort Worth. That one's fun. I really enjoy that one. It's really easy to get to, and it doesn't wear me out every time we go. Some of these venues are really, the Cowboy Stadium.
Emotional damage.
Never again. The very first concert that I had gone to, I was maybe 16 or 17, and my dad, who was in the Navy, was stationed in Meridian, Mississippi, and his friend had a foreign exchange student from Brazil. And we hung out a lot, even though we didn't really speak each other's languages. We tried, and we had a good time. And I mean, I don't know, boy gazing is pretty universal. So PV Electronics, if you know, you know, had put on a concert with the band they were brand new at the time, this is in the 90s, called 9 Days. They had that song that was a hit, The Story of a Girl. This is a story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world. It was written about me. But we went to this concert, and of course they play songs you don't really know at first. And I was trying to explain to her who this band was. And, you know, it's before the internet was big, and, you know, it's not like we had phones or anything. And I'm trying to explain, and she's not understanding. And I'm just like, well, whenever the song comes on, she'll get it. And Story of a Girl came on. Of course, it was their last song. And she got really excited. She goes, oh! And so she grabbed my hand and she pulled me up front. And I'm like, oh no, people are not going to like us because we just forced our way up to the front. And, but it was cool. Everybody was, you know, pretty nice about it. And the lead singer, looks down and he's like wiping his sweat on this yellow throat, you know, this little rag. And he looks down at me, and I smiled, and he threw his sweat rag, which as an adult is kind of gross. When you think of and I catch it, and the girl next to me tries to wrestle it from me. You know your girl was not okay with that. So I pulled it back, and she pulled it, and she tried so hard to take it from me, and I just would not let her. And my Brazilian friend, man, she was my ride or die. She jumped in there and started pulling it. So both of us are pulling it away from this other chick, and that girl was not letting go. That girl had sticky fingers, let me tell you. So we're wrestling, and finally, I told her, which was very, very nice of me. I said, why don't we rip it in half? You get half, I'll get half. And she was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it better be okay. Or either I get the whole thing or I get half. You ain't getting the whole thing, lady. Like, so we ended up cutting it in half, and she got half, and I got my half. Uh, and I still have it. It's in storage somewhere. But it was really funny. So anytime I talked about that later on, like when I was in college and things like that, people would say, "Oh, that's what was going on. That was you." Of course, it was me. It's always me. And now, as a middle-aged adult, I'm like, I really fought another girl over a man's sweat rag. Anyway, so I got the shape filled in. So you can see it's very thick, very textured. So what I like to do is actually I want some more up here. So what I like to do is I like to turn my knife on its side and just make little lines in it, little textured lines. Now we're going to define the wings a little more. The two, there we go, cut it in half. Go like this. And you can go tip it like that, or you can put it on its side. They both have different effects. But it's so cool and so easy to do, and I love butterflies. Butterflies are my favorite thing to paint. As a survivor, is there anything you can relate to more than a butterfly? Because they go through a great deal of darkness too, and still realize that they're still beautiful. So super easy, really fun. Anybody can do it. And even if you just take 30 minutes to yourself and do something like this took me no time at all. And that's boom. And then we take our shell here, and I like to smush it, right in there. That way it dries and it sticks like that. So my suggestion is to let this dry at least 24 hours, more if you can, but at least 24 hours. Let it get nice and hard.
That's what she said.
And then you can paint.
Many months later.
Nice and dry. It was longer, a lot longer than 24 hours. This one has been drying. So I prefer to color with very bright colors. As you can see, you can color her any color you would like. Anything your heart desires. You can make it more like orange and black, like a monarch, and you can use an easel. I prefer to work on a flat surface. Work however it makes you feel most comfortable. I like to have some water on my palette to kind of water these colors down a little bit. And you'll see here, if it's a bit thick, it's hard to get on there, but it's a little easier when it's a little bit watery. And it helps your colors blend as well as we expand on her wings here. You know what? I think I want purple. I did the bulk of my healing when I wrote my trilogy. The first book is called Veil of the Divine, and the second book is called Veiled in Ashes, which I have my t-shirt right here. My goal with this channel is to make us all become in our Marigold Volkova era. And She is a survivor in my trilogy, and she heals through painting and falls in love and is able to reclaim her agency and autonomy and humor, and she gets to live again. And I really want that for all of us. It did take me writing her from a third party perspective in order for me to look at my own life and say, wow, that was really messed up and that was wrong. What happened to you? A lot of us survivors tend to blame ourselves in perpetuity when none of it, not one bit of it, was our fault. She was a joy to write. She's snarky and fun, and she's infused with a lot of me and my thoughts, dark thoughts. So if you're tired of survivors being like just a character development or a footnote in a powerful man's story, I got the story just for you. Marigold is not a footnote in anyone's story. You can come here and you blend that in. Just gives it such I really love bold colors. So I feel like we are always asked to tone ourselves down, to quiet down, and we should be able to live in full color. And it's okay if you get it on here, because I always paint over it with a darker color, usually black. So you really don't have to worry about it being perfect. And if you're interested in following Marigold's journey, you can catch it on Kindle Unlimited for free. You can binge it. And we're in the process of making an audiobook, which I'm really excited about. Actually, Karen Cooper, who is the voice of the Queen, told me that when she was reading and auditioning for it, that she really was enjoying reading the book and the dynamic. And she said she found herself wishing that she could just turn on the audiobook and listen to it while she was doing other things. And we both thought that was really funny. And then slowly and carefully, we'll go around our butterfly with the color, the background color of your choice. I prefer black. It covers everything up and it makes the colors that I chose really pop. And it feels like as a survivor, you're coming out of the darkness, you know? Out of the darkness into the light and unapologetically you. And there we have it. And this is my finished bullet with butterfly wings. One of my favorite pieces. I really enjoy the purple and the pink and the green and the teal. It's just really pretty. I love the bold colors and the black background. You can support my work with Field of Marigolds by reading one of my books, purchasing one of my art pieces, or liking and subscribing this video. I really enjoyed it, and I hope we all can enter our Marigold era together.
Racing my own thoughts into the silence, seeking the guidance